We will not let fear win. A world without trans people has never existed. A world without drag has never existed, and it never will.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we're going to talk about a brand new bill coming out of Canada that would ban protests. Now, not just all protests. It doesn't matter left, right, center, independent. The protests that they're banning or that they want to ban specifically target the LGBTQ community. So if you have a negative thing to say about these people, you'll be banned from protests. And now if you want to protest about climate change or anything like that, then it's totally fine. But the LGBTQ, that's off limits for some reason. Why? I wonder why. And before I go any further, let's roll this clip. I'm not sure what is going on here. Before I even roll the clip, and if you want to see it in full without my commentary, of course, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio and go to the corresponding article on the website. But I see quite a few things here. Why is there a child here? Where are these two big, gigantic people looking like the Merovingian from the Matrix? There's a whole lot happening here. People still wearing masks for some reason in 2023. There's a lot happening here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Firstly, it enables the Attorney General to create a 2S LGBTQI plus community safety zone.
Did you hear this? 2SL LGBTQI plus. What in the world does that mean? Let's start over. Let's start one more time so we can just hear it from the beginning.
Firstly, it enables the Attorney General to create a 2S LGBTQI plus community safety zone to prohibit within 100 meters of the property any homophobic, transphobic act of intimidation, threat, offensive threats, offensive remarks, protest, disturbance, and distribution of hate propaganda within the meaning of the criminal code. It also comes with it a penalty of $25,000 if prosecuted successfully. Firstly,
so you can't say offensive remarks. That's kind of a vague thing. Like what is offensive? What does that mean? If I say that men are men, if I say that if you were born with XY chromosomes, that makes you a man. If I say that, then that's somehow offensive. I can get fined for $25,000. It's a criminal offense. Would that go on my record? Is that what we're going to do? I can't even protest against it. Like, I see what's happening here with this child in the mix for some reason. What does this child know about any of this? Why are they even, if I say something about that being wrong, if I'm a Canadian citizen, you guys want to find me for that? You guys want to say that I'm a criminal for saying that that's somehow wrong? If these two big, bodyguard looking characters back here want to look like this or do whatever they want to do, then that's totally fine. The twins from the Matrix, Agent Smith with a bunch of extra stuff on, that's totally fine. But why you got to have the kids involved? And why you got to have me involved with it? Why can't I say certain things that I want to say? Freedom of speech ain't a thing in Canada, I suppose. But let's continue. There's more here from one of the people in the background. They got a few words to say. Let's check them out.
We will not let fear win. A world without trans people has never existed. A world without drag has never existed.
Can we just pause for a minute? So a world without trans people has never existed. A world without drag has never existed. So has that been going on since the dawn of man, since Adam and Eve? Was there Adam and Steve hanging out dressing like Sideshow Bob with a bunch of extra stuff happening? You looking like Harley Quinn and at the same time Joker. Has that always been a thing in the world, or is that a more recent phenomenon?
And it never will. Queer people have always been here amongst us. They are our coworkers. They are our brothers, our sisters. They are our mothers, our fathers. They are our families.
Now, I will say that people that happen to be LGBTQ, LMNOP, whatever, they exist. Okay, cool. Nobody's talking about that being the problem. Like, if you want to do what you do as an adult, then go for it. But that child right there, leave the little girl out of it. Leave her alone and don't have me involved with it. Whatever you want to do in your own personal time with another consenting adult, that's your business. But don't involve the rest of us normies that are not involved with your ridiculous world.
Drag is art. Drag is culture. Drag is educational. Drag is creative. Drag is comedy. But drag is not a crime. My name is Scarlett Bobo, and thank you so much for your time.
Now, drag can be a crime, in my opinion, if you are doing your adult-oriented performance in front of small children, if you're doing your adult-oriented performance in a public place where such things aren't tolerated, okay? If you just go in some random town square in Anywhereville, USA, and strip down to your underoos and start shaking stuff all around, that might not be a thing that people want to see. You might get the police called on you. You might get the town deputy, town sheriff to say, hey, come on down to the watering hole because this guy is 6'5" and shaking everything around that we don't want to see. Okay. So yes, it can be a crime. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, whatever. You can do certain things that are offensive and maybe considered a crime. And when I say offensive in the criminal aspect, I'm talking about, I don't know, like public and, indecency, indecent exposure, things like that. Do you know that if you do certain things in public that are indecent, you can be considered a sex offender? So I'm talking about actual criminal actions, things that you shouldn't be doing at all. You can get locked up for. I should not be locked up for criticizing people that do such things or who want to do such things. They say drag is educational because they want to have your children involved. They want to have your little kids, little Timmy, little Tammy involved with it because we know what the next step is, right? We got a bunch of letters. We just saw it. What's that? 2SL, LGBTQ, I+, ABC, XY. Every letter in the alphabet. You know what's not there yet? There's one letter that's not there yet. Okay? There's one letter. We all know what it is. We all see where it's going. There's some videos that I saw that I can't even play on Twitter. I mean, pardon me, on YouTube or Twitter, really. I don't want to have that associated with my name. I don't want to have that video on my phone. But these are things that they show on television, on public television, on government television in Canada. You got these quote unquote drag or trans or whatever they want to call themselves stripping in front of underage people. I'm talking about 12 and 13-year-olds or younger. It's like, is it about education? Is it about trying to help the youth? Or is it about trying to indoctrinate them, brainwash them, and recruit them because you cannot reproduce? Like I said, we all know what letter is coming next. And I think that is just uncalled for, unheard of, and I'm not going to stand for it. I don't think you guys will either. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here in Canada? They're trying to ban protests of LGBT or anything that could be considered offensive that may include them in it. Okay, so let's say, for example, there's a drag queen story time going on, and I'm out there protesting saying, hey, let's not have this. Let's not do this. Let's shut this down. They're going to try to get me arrested and get me fined. They're going to try to charge me with a crime rather than the adult males in there dancing provocatively, halfway undressed or totally undressed in front of children. I think that is reversed. It should be the other way around. Rather than trying to harass me for being against it, you should be in there putting them in handcuffs and loading them into the paddy wagon and going down to the penitentiary, making big rocks and little rocks. That should be what happens. But we live in this clown world, in this bizarre world where everything's reversed. We're just not really focused on what should be focused on. And hopefully this bill doesn't pass, but judging by the way things have been going in the West, it might. But whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. I think you guys clearly know where I'm at. This bill and anything like it is ridiculous. Completely, 100%. If adults want to do what they do with other consenting adults, then that's their business. Leave the kids out of it and leave me out of it. Leave those that don't want to be part of this out of this. Very simple. And if I want to say that it's wrong to do something like that, if I want to say that it's not right, if I want to protest, that should be my right. But maybe in Canada, that right doesn't really exist. And I think in the USA, that right is slowly being taken away. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.